Hey there, groovy guys and gals. It's Thomas Harmon once again telling you how to save yourself some repair bills. Well, maybe you can save yourself some repair bills and maybe you can't. This is a disassembled Olympus FE170 camera, and I have found that there is a problem common to a lot of these intricate electronics made overseas, which is to say they have these teeny tiny little ribbon connectors that hold everything together. Let's see if we can't find one for you. Yep, there's one. As you can see, this camera was previously disassembled. This was necessary because it stopped working. I unfortunately rode around in a bumpy vehicle with this little camera in my pocket, and unfortunately it jarred loose some of the places where those little ribbons connect to the motherboard. I was able to replace it, and now the camera works. The problem was, everything worked except no image. When the boot up process of the camera completed and discovered that there seemed to be no camera attached to it, it promptly would shut back down. It turns out that if you turn the knob to the guide or the scene selector, where it doesn't try to immediately access the imaging chip, you can then shut it down so that it will safely retract its lens and delicate optics. That being said, it's necessary to remove a lot of extremely tiny screws. Be careful not to lose any. I think I've lost only one so far. Once you've gotten to that point where you've got both the front and the back of the casing removed, here's the back cover. This is where most of the controls are. This is going to be necessary to get this thing to operate in a partially disassembled mode. At any rate, I don't want to operate it just yet, but first I want to show you how to remove the very delicate LCD. Once it's had its mounting screws removed, you can very carefully do thus. I recommend working at a static-free workstation. This is held on only by a tiny plastic pin, but that's necessary for its stability. Well, that is to say, once those screws have been removed. But you can pop it up, and here is one of those extremely delicate little ribbons. This one here goes from the imaging chip to the processing board. Excuse the steady image, but that is processing chip, processing board, imaging chip, processing board. This is held on by little itty-bitty socket connectors on the ends of the ribbons, and basically you just have to press them down. This one here went click when I pressed it the first time, meaning that it had reseated itself. Then I had to insert the batteries and put on the back cover and found out that yes, indeed, the LCD works. Just remember, anytime you have to do this, find all of those little ribbon connectors, one here, one here, one here, one here, and probably others as well that haven't been exposed. But just carefully seat them until they click. Once they click, you can be pretty sure that unless you throw this thing off of a house or something or kick it across a room, it'll probably keep on running. This one's running now. Hang on a second. Let's try to reassemble this. First, pressing everything to make sure it's all seated. And you want to do this, if at all possible, at a static-free workstation. Seated on that little pin right there. Get it more or less in place right there. And it just slides gently back into place. And you just make sure that in all places it's been properly seated.